Mississippi State was more of a disappointing team in 2018, I would say. I really expected a lot from this team. Yes, they went 8-4, or actually they went 8-5, including the bowl game, and they played really well for the majority of the season. But I really thought that this team would be one to contend and possibly be a dark horse in the SEC. But they ended up not doing that. But anyway, how are they going to do in 2019? Are they going to be able to be how they were a couple of years ago? And that's what we're going to be going over today. I'm going to be going over a few points as to who Mississippi State is going to be losing. And also I'll be going over their schedule and which games I think will be wins and which ones could possibly be losses. Once again, they went 8-5 last year. They ended up losing to Iowa in a bowl game. That was a tough loss for them, especially since he was very close. Lose Nick Fitzgerald at quarterback. They're going to miss him, I bet. Fitzgerald's really helped this team out quite a bit, and we've seen that in past years. Harris Williams, they lose him. He is one of their main running backs, and then a tight end as well on offense. They also lose 2 offensive linemen. And then on defense, they're not really out of the hole either. They also lose 3 defensive linemen, 2 main safeties, and quarterbacks. They do return their linebackers, though, so that's going to help. But really, they are losing quite a bit next year. This was more of a more experienced team last year, and that's why I expected this team to do so well. Because if you got a lot of experience on your team, that's really going to help you do well. They return all their running backs and wide receivers for the most part, except for Harris Williams, of course. And then how will these losses be impactful? I think they're going to be pretty impactful, especially on the offensive side. You can expect them to still be pretty good. That's why I'm saying that the 2019 outlook is good. But I'm not expecting them to do anything crazy like make a run for the SEC championship next year. But definitely a team that could be dangerous in many occasions. Here's their schedule next year. As you can see, it ain't too bad for them. They got Louisiana, Southern Miss, K-State as their non-conference opponents. You can also add Abilene Christian down at November 23rd. And I mean, this ain't too bad of a schedule. Definitely a few SEC schools like LSU and definitely Texas A&M, South Carolina. Those schools really have tough schedules because I mean they have to play like Georgia and Alabama, and then which includes South Carolina and Texas A&M. They both have to play Clemson along with that. They've got tough schedules. But for Mississippi State, looking at their schedule, I don't really see any games that I could say that they're definitely going to lose. The point is they have LSU and Alabama at home. That is going to help them a ton. Very, very favorable schedule for Mississippi State next year. Definitely not too bad of one. I say Louisiana, Southern Miss, K-State, Abilene, and Ole Miss they should win. So they kind of get that stretch in the middle. That's going to be their toughest games. But the beginning and the ends of the season should be pretty easy for them. I think, honestly, Alabama, I'm not going to put that in red as a loss yet, just because I think them being at home, Mississippi State is a dangerous team at home, and we've seen that many times in past years. And then they also get LSU at home. One of those 2 games, either LSU or Alabama, I believe one of those games is going to be an upset. One of them is going to be a major upset, and so look forward to those. Look forward to those games. I would not be surprised to see them win one of those. At Texas A&M, that is going to be a very, very tough game. I consider putting that in red just because Texas A&M I'm expecting pretty big things from, but I'm not going to put it in red quite yet. You also have Kentucky at home and Auburn on the road. Those 2 games should be pretty tough. Those are both in September. Mainly your 2 difficult games in September. I mean, K-State may be a little bit of a challenge, but I think they should take care of them at home. Kentucky, I think that's going to be a win. It's more likely for that to be a win. I'm not going to put it in green yet. But Kentucky game, that could be a win. I don't expect Kentucky to be where they were last year. Auburn, that's going to be a tough game on the road. Auburn's always a tough place to play in. And so, yeah, that's pretty much their schedule. Really, in October, they only play 3 games because they get a bye in the first week. So that helps them quite a bit. And then really tough, honestly, their November. Their November, I'd say, is probably their easiest month. And then, honestly, the 3 games in October really are the hardest for them because you got at Tennessee. Tennessee's a hard place to play as well. They should win that game, but you can't sleep on them. And then LSU and Texas A&M, those 2 games should both be very tough challenges. Estimated record, I'd say 5-7 to 9-3 is your best guess right now. Of course, we are only in February. We got several months until the season starts, so that is likely going to change as we go through the summer. But 5-7 being the worst case scenario, and then 9-3 being the best. I don't really see them getting to 10 wins, because if you get to 10 wins, for example, Alabama, LSU, and Texas A&M, that means you have to beat, or you can only lose to 2 of them, and you got all the rest of the games to win as well. So I think 9-3 is the best case scenario for Mississippi State next season, especially with all the losses. I think that's going to be your best bet. They'll probably make a pretty good bowl game again next year. I wouldn't be surprised to see this be almost a carbon copy of last year's season for Mississippi State. Probably an 8-4 record to end off the season. Would not be surprised to see them end with that. So anyway, that is it for Mississippi State's schedule preview. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Don't let your thoughts go unknown if you disagree with these. More SEC previews to come. I've got 2 more, and Arkansas is next, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you all later.